Hi Math 2 students, and welcome to your first Module 5 Ed Puzzle. So for the warm-up, we're kind of just going to go through a couple of, quick definitions. So it says, what is the diameter of a circle? Be specific by including what points of the circle it connects. All right, so if we draw a circle, the diameter needs to go from one end of the circle through the center to the other end of the circle. Okay, so from one end of the circle through the center to other end of circle. All right. And then what is the radius? So if we have our circle here, that turned out to be an oval. Even with the computer's help, I can't draw a nice circle. All right, so we got our center. The radius goes from the center to any point on the circle. So from the center to any point on the circle. All right, what is a straight angle? How many degrees does a straight angle have? So a straight angle is essentially just a straight line, all right? And a straight angle is equal to 180 degrees. That's important, and you're going to use that a lot, okay? So if you have something like this and you cut it apart, these two parts are going to add up to 180 because it makes this straight angle. So that's definitely an important piece of information. What are supplementary angles? So supplementary angles are angles that add up to 180. So I'll do my best to try and whoa there. These angles, but we could say, I don't know, we'll do 30 and 150. Those would add up to 180. Complementary angles. So complementary angles are angles that add up to 90 degrees. Actually, I guess I should say 180 degrees. 90 degrees. So we could say, that works. And we'll do 55 and 35. All right. So this one says, name the following angle in as many ways as possible. Be sure to use proper notation. So there's kind of two different ways to name it. Actually, this one, there's a lot of ways to name this angle. So you could name it A, B, C. Now, it's always best if you're able to label an angle with 3 letters. I highly recommend it because sometimes if you don't, you could be wrong. So in this case, we could do ABC, CBA. We could just say angle B, or we could say angle 1. So there's actually quite a few different ways that we could name that, right? Again, we could do ABC, CBA, angle B, or angle 1. All right. It's for number 7. It says name the segment in 2 different ways. Be sure to use proper notation. I guess I should point out for angles, we use this symbol. We're trying to say we have an angle. When we have a line segment, we put a little bar on top of it. So we'll say YZ, or in this case, we could say ZY. All right. Okay, so that was just kind of a bunch of definitions, different things you should kind of be aware of. All right, so for this next one, it says triangle angle sum theorem. The sum of the measures of the 3 angles of a triangle are 180. So this is something you should definitely know and have memorized, okay? The sum of the measures of 3 angles of a triangle is 180. So if we look here, that means that these 3 angles need to add up to 180. So if I'm trying to find angle 1, what I could say is, let's see, we'll replace angle 1 with an x because I feel like using a number gets kind of confusing. So we'll say 35 plus 65 plus x. Well, if I add up all these 3 angles, what does it have to equal? 180. So then we could go ahead and solve for x. So we'll do 65 plus 35 and we end up with 100 plus x equals 180. Then you would just do minus 100. You get x equals 80. All right, so we would say angle M equals 80 degrees. All right, now we got example 2. It says solve for x to find the missing angle. So again, we could use the idea that all of these angles inside of the triangle need to add up to 180. All right, so I've got 31. And what I can do is, even though this isn't an actual angle measure, I could just say, well, 3x minus 1. So we're adding in whatever that angle is equal to, which is 3x minus 1. And then this last angle is important. Whenever you see an angle with a little square in there, that means that it's a 90-degree angle. I would write that down because that's going to be something you're going to need to know. So we could add in our last angle of 90. And then we set this all equal to 180. So now we can go ahead and combine like terms. We do 31 minus 1 plus 90 is going to give us 120. So we've got 3x plus 120 equals 180. We'll do minus 120. Minus 120, we get 3x equals 60. We're almost there. We'll do divided by 3. We get x equals 20. All right. All right. So next problem. It says two adjacent angles share the vertex and form a straight angle. Their sum is 180. So basically, this is kind of what I talked about before. If you've got a straight angle and two angles make up that straight angle, right? So you've got like this guy here and you've got this guy here. Their sum is going to be equal to 180. And that makes sense, right? Because you see that together, they make this 180-degree angle. Next, we have an angle that is adjacent to and forms a straight line with an interior angle of a polynomial. So an exterior angle is an angle that is adjacent to and forms a straight line with an exterior angle of a polynomial. So basically what that means is you have something like this. If you kind of extend that, that would be an exterior angle. We could extend this. This would be an exterior angle. We could extend this. This would be an exterior angle. All right. We've got remote interior angles, angles that do not share a vertex with the exterior angle. So if this is our exterior angle, it's going to be the two sides that do not kind of touch that guy. So really the angle that would not be a remote interior angle would be this guy because he touches him. Touches that exterior angle. All right. Now we've got the exterior angle theorem. This measure of an exterior angle of a triangle is equal to the sum of the measures of the remote interior angles. Okay, so what the heck does that mean? Well, basically, if we go back here, it means that this angle plus this angle is going to equal this angle. So 1 plus 2 is going to, actually, I shouldn't put it like that. I should say angle 1 plus angle 2 equals angle 3. All right, so if we look here, we could say this angle plus this angle equals this angle. All right, so we'll say 40 plus 30 equals angle 1. So we get 70 equals angle 1. And that's our answer, 70 degrees. All right, so now we need to find angle 2. Well, we know that if we add up these two angles, it needs to equal 113 because that's your exterior angle. We got our two remote interior angles, which is this guy and this guy, and the sum of that needs to equal this guy. So we'll say 70 plus angle 2 equals 113. How do I solve for angle 2? I just need to isolate it. So I'd bring 70 over. So I do 113 minus 70. And I get 43. So angle 2 is equal to 43 degrees. All right, we're getting there, guys. We're doing a good job. All right, so let's go ahead and try this one. It says find x, y, and z. All right, so this is tough, but we can do it. So first off, looking at this, I'm like, well, when I'm trying to do problems like this, I always see if I have a triangle where I know two of the angles. Because if I know two of the angles, I'll know the third angle, right? Because all three angles need to add up to 180. So the first thing I'm going to do is try and figure out what this guy is equal to. All right, so I'm going to say 39 plus 65 plus x equals 180. Why did I do that? Because all three angles inside of the triangle need to add up to 180. So then I can do 39 plus 65, and that gives me 104. Then we'll do minus 104. 180 minus 104 is going to give us 76. So we know x is going to be equal to 76 degrees. All right, so that's how we found that x angle. Now, this is tough, right? We got to figure out this guy here, and we got to figure out this guy here. Now, with y, there's actually two different ways we could find y. We now know what x is, which is 76. All right, and I'm going to show you the two different ways. First, we could use this, we could use this exterior angle theorem if we wanted to. Because if we're looking, y is going to be the exterior angle of this triangle. And that means that y is going to have to equal this angle plus this angle, following that exterior angle theorem. So we could say y equals 39 plus 65. And let's see, 39 plus 65 is going to give us 104. So we got that y is equal to 104 degrees. Now I'm going to show you another way you can do this. If you look, we know what x is. And x and y make up a 180 degree angle. So that means, right, they make up that straight angle. So if they make up that straight angle, that means that their sum has to be equal to 180. So we could say that like x plus y has to equal 180 because they make that straight angle. And we know what x is. It's 76. So we could say 76 plus y equals 180 minus 76 on both sides. We do 180 minus 76, and we get y equals 104 again. So there was two ways you could have found y. All right. So now we know what y is. Y is equal to 104. So if we look, we have a second triangle here, this MTH triangle, and we have two of the angles, right? We have that this guy is 21, and we have that this guy is 104. That means that we're just missing z. And we know that all three of those angles, because they're the inside of a triangle, need to add up to 180. So we could say 21 plus 104 plus z all have to equal 180. So then we're going to do 21 and 104. We get 125 plus z equals 180 minus 125. And we get that, let's see, I am kind of running out of space here. We'll make it tinier. We get that z, 180 minus 125, is 55 degrees. So we could say that angle z is equal to 55 degrees. All right, we're making progress, guys. You're doing good. All right. So now it says solve for x and find the measure of each angle. So what we have to do here is we have to figure out, well, what theorem can we use, right? So I've got a triangle here, and I've got an exterior angle. This guy is my exterior angle. And if you notice, they gave me two remote angles along with the exterior angle. And if we go back here, we know that the two remote angles add up to the exterior angle. So we can say that this guy plus this guy equals that guy. So we'll say 51 plus 2x plus 3 equals 4x plus 8. So go ahead and try and solve this. So what you end up with is you would combine like terms on this side. You get plus 54 equals 4x plus 8. And then we would minus 54. Minus 54, we get 2x equals 4x. And then 8 minus 54 is negative 46. Bring the 4x over. Negative 2x equals negative 46. Divide by negative 2. And you get that x equals 23. So that answers the first question. It says solve for x. We know that x is equal to 23. So then we need to find our missing angles. So let's figure out what this guy is. If x is equal to 23, it's going to be 2 times 23 plus 3. And that is going to give us 49. And then for this guy, we need to do 4 times 23 plus 8. All right, and that's going to give us 100. All right, so that answers the other question there.